Today we're looking at one scene, shot 3 very different ways, with only one light. In this video, I partnered with Ulanzi to take the show on the road and headed out on location to do this fun lighting experiment. And so here is the one lighting instrument we're going to use for this shoot. It's the VIJIM R70 RGB LED by Ulanzi. And one thing it has that makes it good for this kind of shoot is an articulating arm. You can position it in almost infinite ways. It also has a cold shoe so you can mount it on a camera or on a stand like we're doing on this job. The build quality is solid and it's also a surprisingly bright light for its size. And so now we're ready to start lighting the first setup. This room lent itself to this shoot because of the big wall with the windows. The plan is to use the available natural light with the LED light to create the look for the scene. And you might have noticed that I'm shooting on an iPhone. This is an iPhone 12 Pro Max and I'm using the FiLMiC Pro app. So here is the actual footage, no grading on this shot, natural light only. And then here it is with a D-Log LUT applied. The natural light is looking pretty good in this scene, but we want to make it look better, and so we'll turn the light on. And so here is the log footage with the LED light on. And then here it is with the D-Log LUT applied. And in this shot, since we're shooting her face and her skin, I really wanted to soften the light some more. So we built a little DIY softbox. But before we show that on, I wanted to point out that this LED does have diffusion built into it. And so depending on what you're shooting, you may not need to diffuse the image further, but in this case, we wanted to. And so now here the look is with the softbox added, the diffusion added to the light. And now with my D-Log LUT added. And this is starting to look pretty good. We also use some additional things to help control and shape the light. And that would be a simple piece of foam core, aka a bounce card. These are a great way to add fill to a scene, even negative fill. But in this case, we're using it to bounce the light on her. And action. And so now we'll shoot the scene. And I'm using a little slider dolly to give the scene just a little bit of motion, a little bit of movement, which I think makes it more cinematic and more visually interesting.
Darling, you gotta let me know, should I stay or should I go? If you say that you're mine, I will love you to the end of time. But you've gotta let me know if I should stay or if I should go. It's always tease, tease, tease. I mean, you're happy when I'm on my knees. And one day it's fine and the next it's black. So if you want me off your back, you just gotta let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
All right, look number 2 here. It's a horror film look. And this was really fun and it's also pretty tricky. The setup you're looking at here is the actual final look. I'll deconstruct this and explain how we got there. But the natural light coming in from not only the window, but from a hallway behind me was a little bit problematic. It just gave the room a little more ambient light. However, the big windows on the wall were another story. I had to do something to try to block that light. And so I brought my portable green screen with me and we're using the blue side. Not to do any compositing, but I'm actually using it to block the light from hitting the wall behind her and from hitting her. And here is the natural light only. It's pretty dark all things considered. Fortunately, it was cloudy outside, and so we didn't have to worry about sun, although the clouds come and go a little bit, but it was totally workable. And so now we'll add our LED light. And we put this more or less right above her head. This is a more stylized look than the first look. But we have a little bit of a problem. The LED spills all over the back wall. And with this, the idea was almost to have more like a pool of light coming down over her. And so we made a DIY flag. So this is the log footage, no color grading, with the LED and the flag. One thing to remember too, with the R70, you can control the brightness from 0 to 100, which can definitely help in these kind of situations. And this light renders colors very accurately. It has a CRI of 95. And so here's that look with the flag. And then now with my D-Log LUT applied. And so for actually shooting this one, I again used a small slider dolly to dolly in this time instead of side to side. I wanted to create some emotion with the dolly pushing into her.
Darling, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say you're mine, I will love you till the end of time. But seriously, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? I mean, it's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. Okay, so one day it's fine and the next is black. But if you want me off my back, you've got to let me know if I should stay or if I should go.
All right, now the last setup here, and this is a sci-fi setup. And today, often, I would maybe not shoot this blue color in camera. I would do this in post-production. However, it can be great to do it in camera, and especially because this light is an RGB light. And so you can dial the color in you want on set, and then just tweak that some in color grading in post-production. And in addition to the light, we incorporated a reflector, and I used a mirror. Along with, I actually turned on a practical lamp in the background. And I'm still using my portable blue screen back in the corner to help keep the natural ambient light out of the scene. So looking through the camera here, there's virtually no light in the scene. So we'll turn on the practical first. And so here the light is on, and it's really not registering a whole lot in the scene. It brought up the background just a little bit. And so now we'll turn the LED on, and it illuminates the scene pretty nicely. And by the way, this look is everything on. It's the LED, the reflector, and the mirror. We'll turn the mirror and the reflector off in just a moment, but first I wanted to point out the flare. I did that on purpose because I felt like it almost added fog or haze to the shot, which I love. And so now we'll take away the reflector to see what that looks like. It's a more dramatic look, but I think it loses some of the production value. And now we'll pull the mirror away, and the mirror is actually adding a splash of light on the back wall. Again, just a cool DIY way to add a little bit more production value. And now we'll put the reflector back in. The reflector not only fills in the side of her face, but hits the back wall. And then the mirror works as more or less an accent light on the back wall. That light looks like it's motivated from the flare. And then here is the color graded version of the shot. No camera movement on this scene because I did that in post-production.
Darling, you have to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I will love you until the end of time. But you have to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I am on my knees.
One day it is fine, and the next it is black. So,
What?
if you want me off your back,
You'll have to let me know.
Should I stay
Or should I go?
Well, there you have it. One scene shot 3 very different ways using only one light. This shoot was actually my first time to use the R70 LED light, and I have to say, I really was impressed how it performed. We shot for almost 3 hours and the light was on the majority of the time and the battery barely went down. I also was very impressed with the brightness level on this size of light, and I just really love the articulating arm and the robust build quality. And so I think this is a really nice addition to the portable LED lighting market. Now, would I suggest lighting a scene with only one light all the time? No, I wouldn't. But it is really cool what you can do today with these affordable tools like the Ulanzi R70. To learn more about the light and all the other gear I used in this video, check out the links in the description. Well, thanks Ulanzi for partnering on this video, and thank you guys for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.